Hey everyone, how is everyone doing on this Tuesday night, May 26th, 2026? Short week after holiday here in United States. Is the war fucking over? I hope it is. Should be over. We shouldn't have any fucking wars. If anything, we need more peace. And I have to say that to myself too. Hey man, stop arguing with people over the phone. And take a fucking chill pill. Um the should haves, would haves, bygones are bygones. All right. Gone is the fucking past. So that's it. And again, my apologies. Uh, Besides, my shortcomings, of course, I'm a human being. Human is to err. And, it's just, we all, especially my age and, people who already crossed 50, man, we just have to like look at, I think, ourselves, our lives, where we are, and just be a little more thankful for what we have. And yes, I'm going through a lot of shit, I think, and I was sort of like, down in Wilmington, North Carolina. That's where me and my wife went to for holiday. It's such a nice, pristine place with pristine beaches. It's a beach town, and coming back to New Jersey, which is, this is like Jersey City has become and is becoming more and more crowded, and a new building goes up every fucking other week, or at least, every other 6 months, right? The quality of life obviously, is going down. And me and my wife, we talked a lot about a lot of things. We had a seventh floor room. It was kind of a suite, and we had a balcony. We don't even have anything here, balcony here. I can't even fucking sell my apartment. I'm doing that, and it's just becoming a fucking shit show. In a sense that we don't even have an offer. All right, let's just, without being too negative, and I feel like, yes, we all have problems, and that doesn't mean that, that we become a victim to our own fucking thoughts. I think sometimes I do that, which is not good. Again, my apologies. I'm a human being. And we just have to take a lot of chill pill. I mean, that's all we have to do. And looking at also our, you know, age, I mean, my life is more than half of it's already gone. Whatever I've done, I can't change the past, or if others have done anything that actually has affected us, or whatever the fuck, in terms of, you know, I feel like my father was sort of like bullied from all places, and I just didn't have a good relationship when I was talking to him, when I was not talking to him. I mean, I was like, I don't want to fucking talk about my relationship. I mean, my relationship with my father is good now, and just in my teenage years, and then he's a great dad, and he did whatever he could for us, and same thing goes for my mom. But there's no family, there's no such thing as a perfect like a picket fence with like, well, whatever, that's the American dream of having a family with two kids and a dog and a picket fence and whatever the fuck, right? I mean, it just it just that we Uh, we didn't have a lot of, you know, obviously opportunity, whatever, we didn't have a lot of money, but we were not, sleeping on the sidewalks or anything like that, and whatever. Uh, my father had, he raised 6 kids, and that's not easy. So did my mom. I get it. But somehow I feel like, he was sort of like being bullied by, I don't know. I had no fucking idea. I mean, these are the things that are coming into my fucking, sometimes, imagination. It's not imaginative, but I know that that's sort of like, in a sense that in his, I think in his office, the other his colleagues were sort of like, making him do work and like made him like a workhorse, and then on the other side of the family, and I just like, sometimes if you're too nice, and I'm not saying that he should have been an asshole or something like that, because sometimes I feel like, am I compensating for him? Sometimes I feel like I'm an asshole, but I just leave this thought with this last sentence that coming from that mountain area, yeah, we had a lot of education and all that, but there was no real, like, what do you call, why am I even fucking discussing this? I just that I sometimes I like I again I fall into that hole in the past, and I think many of us have that, like, fucking, childhood, like, what do you call, you know unfulfilled, like, whatever thought, not thoughts, or whatever we went through. And I just can't, like, act like and do things or say things to compensate for my own shortcomings in my past, or just because whatever happened to my dad, or whatever, he couldn't do or realize that, oh wait, maybe he was being bullied, or I mean, I can't compensate for his life. He's fine, he's old, and that's all I'm going to say. That's again, that's it. So let's just move on. Let's just try to be positive, all right? And and we had a good time, we just chilled on the beach. And again, what happened to us, and then this fucking apartment, right? These things are still, these things, this apartment situation, and I think it just like made me sort of not really crazy, but I feel like, what the fuck am I going to do with this? Now I'm stuck with it. And I'm not justifying, like, me getting worked up. And, me and my wife, we were trying to have a baby, and that didn't happen last year. And it just like, and then I'm looking at all these, on the beach, all these families with kids, and that's sort of like, I don't know. I guess because I'm human, and yes, it's all falls on me that, okay, so if I wanted to have a child, I should have put my shit together like in my 30s, right? And I'm not saying that we can't, but of course, we're going to try again and all that, right? But it's just that I think it's just my own sort of like self reflection, and that self reflection just basically bounces off the fucking wall of my brain, right, of my mind, as negative, and then I think I just beat myself up in my head, and then I just project that, you know, and which is not good, which is not healthy, you know. And who said that? I think a lot of people have said that, you're gonna die and you're gonna regret dying. Okay, so you're gonna regret dying the things that you have not done more than things you have done. Okay, but again, I'm sorry. Okay, I just feel like, didn't, I just didn't, what the fuck am I trying to say here? All right. I just didn't have that connection somehow to this fucking world. It was like, okay, this is what I'm doing in this age, in this, like, going with the flow, and I didn't pay a lot of attention, and so it just, and then our upbringing, like, it's just not the type of, like, sort of like the training and all that. Somehow, obviously, the mountains where I come from, that's a very sort of like, it's a poor area, and I should be grateful for, and I'm not saying that, I'm not beating myself, just because, if I got into some argument with somebody, but then I apologize, and I shouldn't do that. All right. But in any case, so without getting too much into this, this is my self sort of therapy, and I mean, I think the bottom line at the end of the night, at the end of the fucking day, is that just take a fucking chill pill. Okay, you didn't do it. You didn't go to fucking Wilmington, North Carolina, or like Orlando. You should have done that a long time ago. Maybe you should have just moved away from fucking, Northeast, and just should have, like, lived a more peaceful, and whatever. You get my point, right? And that just becomes like this fucking snowball of negativity, like a fucking boomerang. In any case, so uh, in general, what's in general, sir? I guess maybe this is why I'm losing my fucking viewers, because I'm just babbling. I've been babbling. I'm sorry, for the past many many weeks. And sometimes lack of sleep has become more and more, and which I'm trying to control now. But um, just the the things which sort of get into our brains, that sort of like manipulate us, right? Our own fucking thoughts, and that's what we all need to avoid. Whatever the fuck past or whatever. I mean, if you have something you need to say to someone, then you should say it. And I don't have anything, any. I don't have any fucking enemies or anything like that. But it's just that again, I just sort of disappear in the eyes of all my extended family in the past, like, 20 years. I was like, they were even surprised I showed up there. But it's not their problem, and it's not sort of my problem either. It's just that I have to basically live in peace, with happiness, with everyone. That's all. That's the fucking bottom line. All right. And Again, a little more grateful, all right? But the only thing I would say is that, I'm sorry again, maybe I didn't do or I didn't help, let's say, some of the people or some of these kids who are growing up are now, whatever, my nephews extended, or my nieces, because I don't have any kids, you know. But again, I was in my own world and I'm still in my own world. This is just like, um, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but I, I apologize if I couldn't help anyone, in financially or, and I don't have a lot of fucking like, you know, saved up money and I'm not a rich guy. I'm under the fucking debt. I've been running my company like a fucking, charity. Uh, I feel like, because I'm not good with money either. And it's just like, that's what engineers, really, we are just not that. I'm not, you know, speaking for all engineers, but it's just that, and I'm not, again, justifying anything. I did whatever I could. And again, um, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But in any case, so I just don't want to, apologize for things that maybe somebody's asking me that I should have done, and or sending money or whatever, right? But and and then the flip side is like, like people really didn't care where I was, if I was in a fucking hole or wherever the fuck until I showed up, right? So that's the flip side, right? So, at this point in time, I just want to live my life in peace, and that's all I want to, I want to, keep my relationship with my extended family, my cousins and all that, cordial and whatever, right? And that's all, and I'll try to, help if I could. Again, it's an easier thing to say than done, and that's all. That's all. As far as me talking about where I come from and et cetera, et cetera. And I don't want to fucking go on about this. All right. Maybe I'm not sure if I'm going to upload this fucking podcast because I'm sorry, it just got just turned into this boring, like babbling, like really. I apologize. Typically, I wanted to actually talk about something else, and I don't know why I just basically kept going. It's fucking. It doesn't make any sense. I was probably, even to myself, what the fuck am I talking about? But um, I presume you all had a great long weekend, whoever is in America, whoever's listening, whatever your weekend was in the mountains or in other parts of the world. I'm talking like as if I have like gazillion listeners. Lots of things are changing. People move on and just life goes on. All right. So I think I need to like come up with some sort of other strategy, maybe for my podcast, right? But happiness and degree of, you know, satisfaction in our lives, everybody's life, is just the most important thing. all right, and just take a chill pill. That's very important. And these fucking allergies, man. Like this morning, or yesterday actually, when I came back, I went to play golf, and my eye was like so red. I think because the air here is so fucking polluted, and then all the other allergens, right? We didn't have that issue down in North Carolina, not a lot. It's just this is still like the old industrial area, outside New York City, and this is also the time of allergies. All right, so that's I mean, my wife also got allergies because this is our second year here. It's a lot of pollen, a lot of fucking grass, other trees, and like thousands of kind of like fucking plants here. So um, yeah, that's my podcast. I'm sorry again, I apologize. It just became boring. It's just a boring podcast nobody listens to, and I think I should stop it. You know, depressing. Depressing as fuck. And that's all. What else is going on? Nothing else is going on. Same shit. Another day, another night, and life goes on. All right. I don't have anything else to report. I'm so sorry. I apologize. And hopefully, not hopefully, but it's like, I don't know. What am I going to do? What am I going to do next? I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to talk shit as I do. And if somebody is interested in listening, they'll listen to it. That they're not, what can I do? All right. And that's all. That's all. I'm sorry. I'll talk to you all next week or next weekend.